afternoon and welcome to today's edition of The Buzz. We're live on Galaxy Television and today is Tuesday, is the 27th of February 2024. My name is Patience and as always it's a pleasure to be on the program this afternoon. Well, if you are a Nigerian, you know what's going on right now. The Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, has begun their strike against hardship in the country. Now, before the NLC's protest today, we've had groups and CSOs and, literally everybody in numbers coming out in different parts of the country, also protesting the economic hardship we've all found ourselves in. But I'm not alone on the program this afternoon. Joining me at the table, I have Mazi Chinedum Obioha, who is a retired banker. He's also a chartered administrator and of course joining us as a public affairs analyst. Good afternoon, Mazi.
Yeah, good afternoon, madam.
Great to have you on the show today.
It's a wonderful pleasure.
It's a pleasure to have you. Yes, okay, so coming in today, what were your observations?
Yeah, I early in the morning I left for a program, one of my sister stations.
On radio?
On radio,
okay.
Yeah. So I expected, though the traffic was something light and to come out.
Exactly.
So it did not peak till around 8:30, 9 as I left the studio. But as I was coming, I think the traffic has resumed. There was no issue of protests. I didn't see any protests going on. And not that people are not happy actually, but then they look at it that what are they protesting for? It's talk, like I said, talk is cheap. They feel that there's no need. Just like what is happening in the East. They don't know whether there's protest, they don't know whether there's strike, because the government has not been helpful to them. So they decided to live their life as work for themselves. They are quite independent, they are quite reliant. So they don't bother about whatever the government is, because the government has not been caring for them. So I think when I saw it on TV that there are protests going on here and I didn't see it as I was coming. So it's something that everybody is tired, everybody is worried. Like I said on the other platform, I said it's only the living. I advise caution. If you are going out to protest, be very, very careful, because you don't know. But thank God that you have not had the issue of being hijacked, not had the issue of being arrested. We have not had the issue of somebody killed and things like that. But in a normal situation, the government is supposed to provide and protect these people coming out too.
All right, we'll get into that in a bit. Thank you, Mazi, for sharing your observation on your way to the studio. Well, on my way to work this morning, the protest is already in full gear. Well, I can report from Lagos, where I am. Ikeja, well, most part of Ikeja is on lockdown at this moment, all right, and some traffic officers are having a hard time controlling traffic. That's because of the protesters who have taken over most parts of Ikeja. It's peaceful though, like you observed. I haven't seen any kind of violence in anywhere getting to the station, so I want to assume that's the mood everywhere.
Yeah, I came from Agege, precisely Faba Junction. Okay. And the armored cars were there, the police were there. And from Agege to Oba, life was still going on.
Normal.
Coming to the studio here, like I said. But I think many people are still being very careful.
Careful, yeah, because there are fewer cars and buses on the road, okay? At some bus stops, I saw a lot of people, who are standing waiting for buses, and these are in unusual places you normally would not see a crowd, which means that there are fewer buses and cars on the road, and like I mentioned, it's peaceful. That up till this moment, I can report that it's still a very peaceful protest. And the president of the NLC himself, Joe Ajaero, as we speak, is leading protest in the Federal Capital Territory in Abuja. And like I said, this particular protest It's not about the minimum wage or, you know, all the many issues the NLC are known for. This particular protest is against the high cost of living, inflation, insecurity, and hardship in the country. Now, according to reports, the protest started from the Labour House headquarters in Abuja at exactly 9:36 a.m. today. All right, so the unions that are involved in this particular protest are the Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria. We also have the Construction Workers Union. We also have the FCT Council. Also, National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives. Also, the Nigeria Union of Teachers, amongst others. Okay, now also present at the national protest, former Nigeria Country Director Action Aid, NLC, and of course we also have the presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, AAC, in the person of Omoyele Sowore, who has also joined the NLC in this particular protest. I mean, the atmosphere is quite tense in Abuja, you know, more than it is in Lagos and perhaps other parts of the country. And of course, you recall that the NLC and the Trade Union Congress actually issued a 14-day nationwide strike notice to the federal government on the 8th of February this year, and it's over the failure to implement the agreement reached on October the 2nd following the removal of the fuel subsidy. TUC has since pulled out of this protest, okay, alongside some other unions, but then the NLC and some other unions, you know, are insisting on this protest, which is why today they have embarked on the protest. Okay, so there are many videos online, you know, detailing how the protest is going on in different parts of the country. Let's just go quickly take a look and let's feel the pulse of the nation at the moment. We'll be right back. welcome back. So, Mazi, let's talk about the turnout for this protest, okay? Because at the beginning, you know, when this notice of a nationwide strike was given by the NLC, you know, earlier comments were as to the fact that the labor union has lost its credibility, you know, and most Nigerians, you know, might not really buy into whatever kind of protest they are proposing and all of that. But then, like I mentioned earlier, the whole of Ikeja is on lockdown as we speak. Traffic everywhere because of this ongoing protest. Protesters are everywhere. Did you expect this kind of turnout, such as, you know, the ones we have seen in this video?
Yeah, let me distance myself from what the women, the market women were singing. I have to completely distance myself, and I'm sure also those viewing us, watching us will also distance. Because they said that everyone is involved. I wasn't involved.
In how Nigeria got back.
So okay. Because we told them we want them. We want them. So I had expected the market women, they were badly hit, everybody. I was expecting to see the civil servants. I was expecting so many other people to come out. But then, because we want Liverpool, we told you, but you decided to say, give us a king that will be like others. Because you people, we worry about the risk of rice, we worry about what you have, you know, what you will eat for within 4 years, and this is the resultant effect. So now, ask me whether I expected more like a crack. Then the two issues you talked about. I have to be very careful using my words, because it does appear to me that those in power allegedly are using TUC to scuttle.
I'm striking that out. It's not a statement of fact. You don't have facts to back that. It's just assumptions. So
that's why I say allegedly.
No, we can't allegedly anything. Let's move on from there. Let's move on. Leave the TUC alone. They are out of the strike. It's fine.
But they started.
You cannot assume. Okay. I know, but you can't assume. It's not factual. They could have other reasons.
They backed out. I said, well, not consulted, or they were not properly carried along. That was what happened. Even before now, when there was strike, they also said something like that. And that's your general opinion. But since it's not acceptable, yeah.
No, it's not.
I do withdraw it. But the issue is this: why people are no longer having confidence in labor. It's like I don't know. We had labor, serious labor when Oshomole was there. But I'm surprised that Oshomole, since he became the governor, from governor he became the chairman, from chairman he became the senator. We have not heard from him. And this is a man who fought for the interest of Nigerian workers. I remember when he fought the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, he said, "You are the president of Federal Republic of Nigeria. I am the president of Nigerian workers." And I remember when he shut down the whole nation. But today nobody's hearing him. So people are no longer.
But he's no longer wearing that garment, that responsibility of fighting for labor. It's no longer his, you know.
What he believed. Since he said he entered as a labor, governor, and since that nobody, I had expected even the government, the president, to make him.
So you expect him to still be pushing the cause of the people?
Yes,
okay.
He believed that he rattled this government, but today we are seeing a different Oshomole. But then people are no longer interested because they've seen the labor that labor. One thing they say in the morning, before in the evening, they said we have called out the strike. And I want to tell you, if they had said strike, nobody would have come out. But then I expected a large number of turnout, because it's not the one person. It's not only these people that you are seeing. People, civil servants, how much is their salary? 30,000 naira. How much is a bag of rice? 85,000 naira. Then things like that. Look, as I was traveling, a bag of sachet water, we bought it 600 naira.
600? 600
naira. So it's so bad that is it Gary? Is it tomato? Is it those of us who like to take apple? Is it, what kind of onions? You're a woman, you know how much. So things are really bad, and that is why I had expected people, but then they looked at it. If you protest from now till tomorrow not to come out, let us go. And the poor man's prayer is God dead. That is what is happening today. So that's why I advise caution, because even though we have not had the issue of being hijacked, even though we have not had the issue of it is some casualties, but I want to believe that people are now worried. People are saying there's nothing concerned of whether they like it or not.
So what you're saying in essence is Nigerians are gradually losing, you know, their trust,
the confidence
in getting any results from protests.
Yes,
Okay.
In advanced countries, like protest is not it's not strike. You have to make a decision between strike and protest.
Yeah.
Protest is a system. The public organization.
It's like an outcry, you know, over unfavorable.
The government needs to look at it, but in this country, you think I'm not going to listen to it, and that's why they said if you talk from now to tomorrow, nobody. Just like the election, I hope you not see it.
I will. I will, Mazi. Okay. Now, you know, when you were talking earlier, you did mention the fact that, you know, the police so far, you know, they've been very civil to people. They've not manhandled or maltreated anybody.
That's what I said. In advanced countries, the security department, the police, the military, and what have you, will be asked to go and guide these people. And of course, they will bring up ambulances to guide these people. They will use the walkway, not blocking the major road. Yeah. Walkway, and the police will be guiding them. Yeah. In most cases, even in the gathering.
Because even the protesters themselves also need protection.
Yeah, they need protection.
Exactly.
I think Farah said, the Inspector General of Police, please protect these people. And the Attorney General was saying that it is amount to contempt. It's not amount. It's not. It's quite different. Okay. What is in court is strike, but this is protest, which is you can protest. Okay. Even you can't beat a child and say don't cry. A child is crying for food. I am hungry. Give me food. Give me food. You don't give me that food, and you ask him not to cry. It's not possible. Okay. That is what is happening, and that is the essence of this protest. That there is hunger in the land. And you, our papa, our mama, you are not listening to us. Let us come so that the world will hear us. And that is the essence of this. So we should ask the government. I want to bring in something.
Don't.
Because on Saturday, Mama Foundation used that platform to rule out soccer to people. He gave out money. He gave out farm implements. He gave them so many things to go back to farm. You see, when you talk about scarcity of food, it didn't start from this time. It started when we were in primary school. There was a period we call agricultural time, where you have garden. I remember Obasanjo Green Revolution, Babangida Operation Feed the Nation, where if those things were actually followed, we wouldn't have been here. Of course, insecurity is there. So, because of the center, everybody at the end of the month, every governor sent their minister of the commissioner for finance to the center. Will become lazy, and of course, our women can no longer go to the farm. The food basket of the nation, that's they cannot. No, you see, I read somewhere where a governor in the north, I don't know, I said that they will not allow trucks to bring the food. It's because they are looking for food to eat in their own area. So our people, my people, they produce gari, we produce palm oil, we produce also other things. Those things are no longer now. But today, before I came back, I have bought about 5 portions of land. I've asked them to cultivate it. Because if you don't do that, is what Amama
to start farming.
If you don't do that, because there's scarcity of food, but those areas that are secured, why can't they go back?
Okay.
And in the federal, how many of the Ministry of Agriculture is working? Even our university, I remember there's a Federal University of Agriculture, Mudike. Are they doing it? Nothing. So everybody is lazy. Everybody is now look for easy made money, and that is a problem until we go back to the farm. If you don't produce what you export, produce what you will eat.
At least.
If you don't produce what you can export outside, what you can produce, what you can sell to local markets where the people, your community will be able to go and buy food. In those days, who eats foreign rice? Nobody. There was Abakaliki rice. There was all these things. So, but now all those things are gone. Yet, even a bag of rice, 85,000 naira. A bag of gari is nowhere. Oil, a bottle of oil is about 1,000 something. So, what are we talking about?
So, thank you, Mazi.
If we begin to analyze all this, we begin to complain all this, and these are what people say Even if you complain from 9 to 2, nobody will listen to you.
True that.
But I believe if this thing is properly handled, we'll see the sunshine at the end of it.
All right, so still reporting on the ongoing NLC strike against hardship in the country. As Mazi has rightly pointed out, so far there's been no indictment on the part of the police as to harassing protesters or the citizens. In fact, videos making their ways online shows some police officers distributing water and biscuits to some protesters in Lagos, and it's gotten very good comments on social media. Let's roll that video. We'll come back. Let's quickly go see what our men of the Nigeria Police Force are doing out there. Let's take a look. We'll be back. Days before the protest, the Nigeria police put their officers on red alert, okay, and they also issued statement after statement, you know, warning that violence and some intolerable acts will not be tolerated at this protest. So that put some sort of fear in people that perhaps we'll be seeing the same kind of, you know, attitudes we're used to from Nigerian police. This is so good to see. You know, it's a relief seeing that at least the police are on the lookout. You know, they're looking out for the protesters as well, giving them water at least and biscuits. Look, you know, while they go about their protest here. They are.
That they are happy with high cost of living. They buy from the same market.
True.
Do you understand me? So don't forget that even some of them will even say, go ahead. But the issue is this: we are the same people. And that's why I quarreled with the market women, said that all of us, because I didn't cause it, because I know I will complain, or this step will complain. So if some policemen will now take it as a duty to show some level of kindness, water is life. There might be other things they distributed according to their level. I think other spiritual individuals could go ahead to do that. Every day or every weekend, I push on my wall. Look at somewhere around you. Show love to somebody around you. If I tell you how many calls, how many text messages I receive a day, you wonder. And these are people calling for 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, as the case may be. And if you want to see the level of poverty, level of hunger, go for burial. You see that people will come themselves, their children, their grandchildren, only to see something to eat. Is it wedding? So is it the country, there's hunger in the land. So whosoever God has so blessed should, follow the suit of that police officer that is the suit. That's what they can afford. Water. You can do something. There's nothing wrong if you now buy biscuit and share. All these things goes a long way to help. And people will be praising you, people will pray for you. But for our government, they should listen. You see, 2012, there was protest, there was no molestation, there was no arrest, there was nothing. And they will stay there for more than, I think it should be 1 week. So now, and they were cooking, they were dancing. But now, today, I think they've learned a lesson. The police will ask to go and I didn't know who my police. Their wives go to the market. Themselves go to the market. They see everything. So why should they be aggressive to those who say we don't want this? So I think my observation opinion is that they know what they are doing.
Okay, so once again, the NLC, that's the Nigeria Labour Congress, have embarked starting from today on a protest against hardship in the country. All right, and earlier the NLC and the Trade Union Congress TUC issued a 14-day nationwide strike notice to the federal government over the failure to implement the agreement reached by both parties on October 2nd following the removal of fuel subsidy. Before NLC's protest today across the country, a lot of people have been coming out on their own protests too, you know, against hunger and talking about how food it's beyond the reach of the poor man. Mazi, you wanted to say something? Okay.
Has no friend. It's just like death. It's a common denominator. It enters to anybody's house. But then the issue here is, we talk about why they are not protesting. It's because of the agreement reached and they've not been able to implement it. We said it here when they said give us 8 months, 8 weeks. Immediately the first subject was removed, they said give us 8 weeks. And we said it on this table that for those who will believe with me, from what you have been experiencing, talk is cheap. Have they been able to do it? And we told them from here that we don't need palliatives. Bring out something that cushion the effect of this hardship. There's hardship in the land, but they don't listen. And they said all those things they promised us, all those things by now they're supposed to have rolled out minimum wage or living wage. Have you heard anything about that? So that's the problem. They believe that the government is not listening. They believe that the government is not sincere. They believe that government will say one thing in the morning and send. So that even there was a time the NLC executive, they refused to go into meeting with the government officials. They said these are people that we cannot trust them. So there has been lack of trust, lack of confidence with on the side of the district. So that's why they don't want them to say. But if I were asked, why is agreement agreement? And God said, I don't delight in foolish vows, foolish pledges. Why is it that they talk about agreements which since 2009 they've not been implemented? What about the one 2021, 2020 up to they've not implemented it? Even the agreement they reached during this hardship, by this time last year they were coming out saying, let us be patient with this. Agreed that President Tinubu is not the one who caused it, but he was part of it because he was the national leader. The economy has been destroyed. How much is dollar now? So everything, I asked for a bag of cement, it's 13,000 naira. 13,000 naira. 3/4 rod, 16 inches. They say it's now 8,000 to 9,000 naira. So what is cheap? Nothing is cheap. Even coming here in the village, Omaya precisely, those watching from Omaya, how much are you buying for? It's not 1,000 naira
per liter.
1,000 naira. So these are the things. But then I agree that we all agreed that fuel subsidy should be removed. But it should be a gradual process. That's our own thinking. That's our understanding. And before you say it is gone, so many things would have been put in place so that people will not suffer it as it is now. The day you say it's gone, that was the beginning of our problem. And it continues to be that. Everything is affected. Even toothpick. How much is toothpick now? So nothing is cheap. So I think the government has to look inward. The government has to say, why is it that these people no longer trust us? Is it that we are not doing it right? Or is it because we don't abide by what we agree? If you know you will not do it, nobody is putting that on your neck until you sign it. But the moment you sign something, agreement, you see, when a man is called an integrity person, it means what he says, he does it. But unfortunately, the reverse is the case. That is why the protest, they said, because they've not implemented, they've not done half of what we agreed last year. But even the Minister of Information, whatever, said, I listened to him yesterday, he said they've done 80% of what they agreed. Then why is Labour saying that they've not done it? And if they've done it 80%, I don't think that we would have been buying a bag of rice 85,000 naira. So that's the issue. Now that is why, you see, Marapi, there is a level you tell your child that I will provide food for you. Your child wakes in the morning, afternoon, in night. Do you think that child will trust you again? The child will not trust you. So that it has gotten, integrity is key. Honesty is key. What makes you a man is what you do, what you say. If you don't do what you say, you are not a man. Your integrity is at stake. I mean, it is questionable. Moral value, I talk about moral value. I cannot promise, even those who send them all this, I will tell you bluntly, sorry, it's not possible. One of the presidential candidates said, you cannot promise, and again he said, let us see a way we will run away from consumption alone. Like I said earlier, if you cannot produce what you can export to earn foreign exchange, produce what you can use to feed your family. That's it. Because me, I have some questions of as I was coming. Only Gary is scarce now. Only is scarce, nothing. So by the time I go back during Easter, I will bring some Gary. I will not. Gary is expensive. You know how much it is in my apartment? 12 pesos. You know what it is? What it cost me?
Yeah.
So it is not easy. And my own advice here, if you are watching us, please remember the farms. Go back, even within your compound, your backyard. Do a little farming, garden, plant some vegetable, plant okra, plant whatever. Maybe within 2 or 3 weeks you go back. You may not be able to be buying okra again from the market because okra is expensive.
Very.
Okra is expensive.
Literally everything.
Everything, because you know.
Thank you, Mazi. Literally everything.
I didn't come with my bag today because if it was those days, I would come with the bag.
Yeah.
But then the issue is that there's hunger in the land and people are trembling. There are some people who are dying or who have died not because of this. It is because they can't afford the cost of drugs. Somebody sent me a text that the wife had a normal delivery and look, they charged 150,000 naira. The wife is still in the hospital. I have a brother, my distant cousin. He had an issue with somebody and he's been in one of the hospitals. It's 280,000. He's still there. I went to buy drugs, my routine drugs, from 7,000, 8,000. It's now 25,000. So many people, the implication of this is so many people will be dying because of lack of money. Because the pharmaceutical company, are they producing? My pharmacist, I went to him, he said they will give out their list. Nothing will come. Out of maybe 20 lists of drugs, they will give you a 5. And it's expensive. So nothing is working. So is it the country where this is not country I made middle 50s. This is not the country I made 60s. This is not country I made 70s, 80s, 90s till now. This is what we are crying for. Is it the same country we are going to leave behind for our children?
Thank you so much, Mazi. Thank you for a fantastic summation.
I think the government should come up and they do the needful, but the penalty is not happening. Otherwise, see these people, may God help us.
Thank you so much, Mazi. Now I'm getting, excuse me, I'm getting a reaction here. It says, good afternoon, the boss crew. The silence of Nigerians has made government legitimize evil. We can see talk is not cheap, but is expensive. Our silence has made them turn law to lawlessness, dreams to nightmare, brilliant minds to low-grade minds, secured country to a gangster paradise, turning people to beggars in the midst of plenty, turning a booming nation to economic disasters, pocketing institutions and making them ineffective, turning journalists to eye service propagandists all under a few months. Dio from Fagba said that one in. Thank you so much. All right, so I think Mazi has just aptly, covered literally everything most Nigerians are going through right now. There's several videos online where many Nigerians, especially women, because those are the mothers, the ones who have to nurture children, feed the family the most. I'm not saying men don't do that, but you get what I'm trying to say. They're complaining about the cost of buying food items in the market. Let's take a look at this video. We'll be back. For the audio fail in that video, I don't know what's going on today, but I'm sure a lot of us must have seen that particular video online. Those are women who are complaining about the cost of literally everything in the market. I don't know, you rightly said in your family you're 12, okay? So I don't know how you are coping, Mazi, at this point in time. A kilo of Titus fish, the mackerel fish that we all love, is now 4,500 naira. A kilo of chicken, is as high as 6,000 to turkey, 8,000 plus, okay? You can't even go near meat. All right, Gary, as at yesterday, a paint bucket of Gary is 2,700. All right, let's not even talk about rice. A derica of rice is now 1,500. Beans, if you're used to the honey beans, we call oloyin beans, is about 1,200 naira. A tuber of yam starts from 2,500 naira now. 5 kg of semovita is, I think, about 7,000 naira or 7,500 there. Like everything is up there. Let's not even mention palm oil or vegetable.
My question now is,
it's a whole lot. How do you feed an average family of 6? You know,
where do we go from here?
it's a lot.
It wasn't like this even during the lockdown. It wasn't like this. And it now drew my attention what my wife passed through, my late wife passed through. I never knew how my wife would have survived, because, you know, remember I was saying that she was spending 4,000 naira every day at transportation.
Going to work, yes.
Yet there was no upward review of her transport, whatever. See, you talked about women crying. What about nursing mothers, the elderly, those who depend on whatever
whatever people bring to them.
I say, those around you, look at, in 5,000 naira is too much. If somebody sent me a text, I should help her with 1,000 naira to make. I looked at it. I said I wanted to send 1,000 naira. The moment I wanted to say 2,000 naira, I said maybe let me be hearing from the voice of the Holy Spirit. I sent 5,000 naira. That woman called me. The children called me. So it is so difficult for people to eat now. So difficult. No light. Even if you manage to cook a pot of soup, to preserve it, there's no light. So which means you'll be warming it, and it will lose the taste. So that is.
And gas is expensive.
It's expensive.
Yeah, we didn't even need to talk about that. People are turning to charcoal again now. You know, so
easier. It's not easy. Look at, I converted one of my generators in the village during the time I was doing the burial of my wife. I converted from petrol to
gas,
and I'm not regretting it, because it's expensive. It's about 18,000 naira as against I think against 9,000 or something. So everything, and it's only in Nigeria this thing can happen. This protest would have, I expected, like, it's not labor. I want to tell you, if labor had said we are going on strike, nobody would come out. But they said protest, demonstration of what is worrying us, what we feel that the government is not doing rightly, and that is why people. But unfortunately, how many people are coming out? But then there is fear of uncertainty. Yeah. Everybody is very careful, because, what happened in custom, about 7% died.
Yeah.
So and I wanted to ask question: are there no better ways for custom to do that? But people are hungry. Like I mentioned, go to wedding functions. See people. In my church, we have not said, women, please leave your children at home, or when they come, send them to children department, because in a seat now, see a mother, see father, look at children. So I know what I suffered during the time I buried my wife. So many things happen because of hunger.
A lot is going on.
So people should be able, those who God has blessed, should be able to help.
You know, everybody, all hands on deck is an all hands on deck approach right now. Okay, so like you rightly said, even churches, religious centers need to come up with innovative ideas on helping their members. All right, in my church, for instance, now every Sunday at least you get breakfast. Okay, you come to church. After church, you get bread and tea. Okay, now I have not witnessed the number of people in church since we started giving breakfast. People now come. The other day I saw an alaja on my street coming into church. No jokes, I'm not joking. I know her, she's a Muslim, okay? And she came into church, and you know, yeah, because bread and tea at the end of service goes a long way for a lot of people right now. So as funny as it may seem, but it paints a very vivid picture of what our reality is at the moment. So religious centers, anybody who can help right now, let's help people. Is a very, very dire situation that we are in at the moment. Yeah, it's a lot.
Omama Foundation took me to School of the Blind in I think Afara. If you go there, you will. The School of the Blind in Umaya. If you go there, I know I go to Besheba School of the Blind
here in Lagos.
Yes, and the Boys and Girls Correction Center, Orego. I go there from time to time to give them something. But if you see the environment, yet it is owned by state government. Nothing is being done. They were begging, we need food. These are people. The principal is a blind one. Every worker there is blind. You will pity, you will cry. So it has come to a point that those professional beggars, they are no longer doing it intentionally. Please, just a little love. Show some concern.
Thank you, Mazi.
Give them something, whether they are doing it intentionally or what. Is it the moment you give? I was in Rapid from time, and as I was going, I know how much God blessed me at the end of it. So it is good to give. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Mazi. Thank you so much. All right, so the protest is still ongoing. Reports will keep filtering in, every hour. Just keep it locked on Galaxy Television. Our news will give updates on that. But very quickly, just to mention that the customs has suspended the sale of seized food items because of the stampede that happened recently. Now, in a statement that was released yesterday, the spokesperson of the Nigeria Customs Service, Abdullahi Maiwada, announced the suspension. And he said, and I quote, "We enjoyed the cooperation of the large crowd that obliged us, giving preferences to the elderly, people living with disabilities, pregnant women, and other vulnerable Nigerians who showed up for the exercise." This was the case up until 1700 hours, as attested to by the over 5,000 beneficiaries and members of the press. He now said, however, unforeseen challenges arose when we ran out of stock and announced the continuation of the exercise the following day, leading to a regrettable outcome. Now, according to him, the crowd became desperate and charged through their barricades in search of bags of rice, I beg your pardon, inside already empty containers. And in the stampede that ensued, some fatalities and injuries were regrettably recorded. Now, according to reports online, about 7 people actually died in the stampede, a pregnant woman included. I even learned a man, one of the men who died in the stampede was there with his wife, all right? So as people were rushing, he fell down, couldn't get up quickly enough before people, just ran all over him. Unfortunately, imagine that kind of a woman. You and your husband went out to see if you could get a bag of rice to bring home. And then you became a widow, just like that, The man just died because you were in search of food. It's so sad, all right? As much as we like to blame government, I don't think this is a government fault again. Like, why can't we be orderly? Even though my guest yesterday tried to justify the fact that it's because the things weren't done orderly in the first place. But then taking it from the standpoint of the statement issued by the Customs Service, I mean, why, if they said the rice don't finish, come back tomorrow, then why charge through the barricade? And we need to do better.
I talked about
we need to
trust and integrity. When they say they've run out of stock, they didn't believe it. And so many stories.
True. They didn't believe that.
Because we had stories like they are all allegations that hoodlums were collecting money from these people that came, 3,000, 5,000, promising them that they will
get rice.
And they went away with this money. See, frustration, stealing from people who are hungry. Then on the custom, I know Harvey Road
in Yaba.
Even there's no way auction is being sold without stampede. But it should be more organized. There's hunger. But don't forget that free food goes like that. Free food showers. So that's what is it. But like I said here, they would have, they would have planned it in such a way that this is it. Maybe decentralize it within the local government. I don't know, but nobody will trust. I don't think they.
I'm sure this suspension will afford them the time to go back to the drawing board and plan it in a better way and let people have access to these bags of rice. The customs on Friday started selling seized rice and other food items, but for the rice they were selling 25 kg. That's half bag of rice. 25 kg rice at 10,000 naira. All right. The only requirement is, of course, the money and your NIN. If you have your NIN, then you can access that. I don't know about that. I don't know if they were paying in cash. But
people are saying if they are paying, who is sure that this man will go through? But anyway,
well, let's not forget those are seized items, by the way, which maybe would have been auctioned anyways or even destroyed if they go bad. Well, it's just to ameliorate, you know, the situation right now and let people just have access to food. Our heart goes out to those who lost their lives in that stampede. May God actually grant the families they left behind the fortitude to bear the loss. And again, let me enjoin us as Nigerians. This is a very testing time for us. Let's not lose hope. And while we are hoping for the best, let's be on our best behavior, okay? Let's not hijack this protest. Let's allow things stay peaceful. We can see even the police are cooperating with the protesters. But if things go awry, the police has got to do their job, okay? And you know what that means. So let's just be calm about things. We can protest. The government, they already know. They can test the pulse of the people, and they're doing so much. I don't know about other states, but Lagos state government is doing so much right now. It might not be enough, but at least they're doing something to help Lagosians. First of all, there's 25% slash on transportation fares in Lagos State. Also, there is now a fresh food hub in Lagos State, I think somewhere in Idioro, that's Mushin area of Lagos. It's every Sunday, it's a Sunday market. You can come out, get fresh food straight from the farms, okay, at discounted prices, and you can shop, buy literally everything, you know, fruits, food items, chicken, straight from the farm at very affordable prices. But then you cannot shop beyond 25,000 naira, and that's because they want it to go round. And according to the governor, this will be replicated in 4 other locations across the state. Also, they have also inaugurated a palliative committee, okay, and that will come with so many goodies as well. Plus, now in every local government, the state government is liaising with all these local food sellers, the mama puts, to feed 1,500 people in every local government for the next 30 or 60 days. That is at least something, okay? So let's be patient. Things will get better, I believe. Thank you so much, Mazi, for coming into the studios today. Thank you, everyone. And if you don't really have to be outside, please stay indoors. Stay, all right? There's traffic out there. All right, so God bless us all. We'll see you next time on the show. Have yourself a good one.